You know, I hate to be the guy that says back in my day, but damn, it's getting hard, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you ever like wake up or do something and you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Social media has taken over our lives in the past decade or so. People legitimately cannot go a day without checking posts, checking their like ratio, seeing who commented on what, talking about the latest photos for their Instagram, and the list just goes on. Everyone is so connected to the online world at times in the modern age, constantly talking to each other, engaging in meaningful conversations, and meeting new people thanks to all those platforms like Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. Obviously, there are older ones that came and went, most notably MySpace being my personal first taste of social media. The idea of having a website where you could go add friends, meet new people over the internet, and post about what you were doing even if nobody cared was such a new concept at the time. Now, of course, us MMORPG gamers had technically already been doing that for a while in our online virtual environments. I made plenty of friends playing RuneScape or MapleStory. Those games essentially acted as social outlets for people like me to meet people we never would have normally met. So where am I going with this? Well, when social media was uprising in the wide world of the internet culture, there was a website that was dedicated to gamers, nerds, anime junkies, and role players alike. That website being the subject of today's video. I am, of course, talking about Gaia Online. If you've never heard of Gaia Online before, you are probably wondering why I am talking about a website on an MMORPG channel, or you are just too young.
I love the young people.
Either way, it's because this website did have an MMORPG tied to it called ZOMG. It was a simple Flash-based MMO that didn't really have anything intricate or mechanically challenging, but ZOMG wasn't about that. Gaia Online was a massive forum for millions of people to talk to each other about video games, comic books, anime, role-playing, and nerd culture. ZOMG was just a game within the website that allowed for people to talk to each other more readily. Nowadays, that obviously sounds incredibly trivial. You can find dozens of group pages on Facebook to meet people to chat with or play other online games. But back in 2004, websites like Gaia Online were really the only place you could find that sort of experience. It truly felt like a place that you could express your inner anime nerd or video game avatar.
We have technology.
My name is Boxy. Most of you know me as,
People would flock to the site to play simple Flash games, customize their pixel avatar, post in community forums, or share art within the massive artist population that Gaia Online had. It was home for millions of people on the web, and it's still running to this day. However, like all the things we cover in this series, over the course of time, Gaia Online lost its popularity. Nowadays, when you go to the website, there is only a couple of thousand people hanging around versus the massive community it once had. What happened to Gaia Online? Why did it fall into obscurity? Did it just become a relic of its time? Well, let's talk about Gaia Online, look into some of its history, at least with what I can find on the internet, and then ask you, the viewer, the question: is Gaia Online dead or alive? So before we get into today's topic, I got one request for the viewers. Help me hit 10,000 subscribers by clicking subscribe, and while you're at it, go ahead and click the like button as well if you like the video. It's completely free to do so, and it only takes a moment of your time, kind sir or madam. If you choose to do so, I completely appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get on with the video.
I pressed it, sir. I pressed the button.
Gaia Online originally launched all the way back on February 18th, 2003, making Gaia 19 years old this year.
I'm starting to feel old. Look at all this gray hair.
Originally, the site started as nothing more than a hub where you could find links to anime sites, video games, movies, and artists. Eventually, as the site grew with more and more users, it would eventually become a large forum-based community where users could talk to each other via forum posts and pseudo chat rooms. The site started with the name Go Gaia as shown in this early snapshot, but would eventually change its name fully to Gaia Online in 2004. At glance, Gaia Online was just a normal website where you could post on forums. There were plenty of those sites back then, sure, but what made Gaia stand out from the rest was the fact that they implemented unique features into their site to keep users coming back. The avatar system was unique to the site and was one of its defining features. It's just a glorified profile picture at the end of the day. But remember, back in 2004, no other websites were doing something like this unless it was a video game. On the site, you could earn unique outfits by just browsing the site and talking to people. It was a genius way to keep users active on the site every day to keep retention, something my YouTube channel struggles with video to video.
True, and yeah, that's pretty true. That's true, and yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's pretty true. That's pretty true. I mean, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's fucking true. That's how it is, dude.
Anyways, eventually Gaia would add more things to do on the site like flash games to keep up with other community sites like Neopets and Adventure Quest. By 2007, the site reported to have over 1 million posts daily, 7 million unique visitors each month, and 26 million total registered users. That's crazy. The metrics were incredibly impressive considering the site was only 4 years old by 2007.
Oh my god! Wow!
Clearly, founders Derek, Long, and Josh were doing something right. At this point in the website's history, it was winning awards left and right for having some of the internet's highest teen population, even being included in Time magazine's top 50 best websites in a 2008 article. So garnering all of this success, what was the next step for Gaia Online?
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Well, I think Gaia veterans probably know. Ever since the site was available, there had been talk that Gaia Online would add an MMORPG to the website, eventually called ZOMG or ZOMG. The earliest snapshots I could find have devs talking about early concepts of the battle system, Kickstarter's developer journal talking about elements of the game such as the cash shop, and different testing phases. Beta testing went on for a few years, with open beta starting in October 2008. The game released to the public soon after, with everyone being able to jump in and finally enjoy the game. Over the next couple of years or so, the site would go through various editions, updating ZOMG with new content, and going through a couple of bizarre events, to say the least. I mean, to talk about one bizarre event, let's talk about internet's first simp queen, Boxy.
You probably know me as Boxy, but a lot of people don't know me as Moldy Lunchbox. And so yeah, that's my Gaia username on Gaia Online.
Boxy, otherwise known as Catherine Wayne, was essentially one of the first big internet trolls on the YouTube site. Her first video directly mentions her Gaia Online friends being the reason she made the video, with that video getting millions of views, being a viral sensation back in the day in the early years of YouTube. She went on to do pretty big things like voice acting, which, sheesh, I'd love to be able to put out a viral video and get hired to do voice acting.
How come you don't want me, man?
Besides Boxy, Gaia Online in general became a hub for meme culture later on in the early 2010s, and essentially became a meme itself. So that must mean the website continued to be a success, right? Right?
Right? Wrong.
Well, after a few years on the market, Gaia Online obviously had to find other ways to make money. The website was getting bigger, which required more site maintenance and team expansion. How did the Gaia team find ways to make money? Well, microtransactions, of course.
Of course.
Alright, to be fair, it's not as predatory as it is nowadays. Starting in 2007, Team Gaia introduced its premium currency called Gaia Cash. Previously, users would earn gold by just hanging out on the site, the gold being a currency they could use to just buy clothes for their avatar. Like I said before, a damn good way to keep you browsing on the website.
You're goddamn right.
Gaia Cash introduced essentially the website's cash shop where you could buy other premium cosmetics not obtainable through gold. That is, unless others sold those premium cash shop items on the marketplace. You could probably just see where this is going. I will say in the site's defense though, back in the early years of the cash shop, these items were literally only $1 to $2. That's it. The problem was how people manipulated the Gaia Online market in their favor. They would buy items on the cash shop and flip it for high amounts of gold, specifically targeting the highly coveted items. Black markets sprung up online where you could trade real money for these digital items. Incredibly rare items only obtainable during limited time sales became ridiculously expensive on the Gaia marketplace, and there were people selling these items online for high dollar amounts. Hell, you can even find sites where people sell these digital items like crypto or fucking NFTs. Black market sites selling in-game items are pretty common for most online games though, so that was nothing new. But what ultimately killed this whole endeavor? Well, what if I told you that Gaia Online has the record speedrunning time for crashing and burning your own economy?
Waffles! Buy waffles!
Back in my MapleStory video, I talked about the first signs of microtransactions in gaming. One of the biggest things that plagued MapleStory was their gachapon feature. It was more or less a slot machine that you would buy tickets for. You either got junk, or if you were lucky, an item worth millions. Gaia Online implemented something very similar. As early as April 29th, 2008, Gaia implemented their first item generator to the cash shop. The first item being the Bag of Win. The Bag of Win gave you an item that would essentially trade for gold, which then allowed you to buy other stuff. The problem was the bag could give you a small payout or a huge lottery. Obviously, this started to raise concerns in the community about the economy. The dev team seemed to listen to the community when gold generators were absent from the cash shop for years, but as always, mistakes were made, and gold generators officially returned later with the infamous addition of the item named Flynn's Booty.
How's yours?
Just a minute.
Surprise mechanics.
Infamously, the item dumped billions of gold into the economy, creating a massive inflation within the market. Overnight, a healthy sum of gold became worthless. Users would literally have to have millions to have any sort of wealth within the economy after this event, being monikered by the community as Flynnflation. The community outcried that the gold generators were destroying the economy, but unfortunately for years to come, the generators kept coming back. The devs realized their mistake eventually, but the damage was already done. Their economy that had been built up by the community was completely destroyed within a few short years. Eventually, with the economy burning away like a dumpster fire, players started to leave in droves. The development team eventually began to support the site less and less. Another kick to the groin would be the announcement of ZOMG's shutdown in November of 2014. The developers had announced that the game was more or less in maintenance mode a year prior, admitting that it was no longer profitable to keep development up for it. It was a shame for the community to lose such a pillar of engagement. It seemed like Gaia was on its last legs, losing one of its biggest drives to the site, among cutting other games as well. That essentially leads us to where Gaia Online is now. It's known as a shining example of what not to do with an online virtual economy, having multiple articles and essays written about its demise. So besides its economic disaster, what else is plaguing Gaia? Well, honestly, its age is also a factor. Remember how I talked about social media in the beginning of the video? Well, forums are just not as engaging as they used to be since, as I stated before, things like chat rooms exist on multiple websites like Facebook. Gaia is running on the outdated concept of public forum posting, which in this day and age, the evolution of forums would be a website like Reddit. But it's not even just the forum posting that's outdated. It's all the other social interactions the site provides. provides. ZOMG was actually revived back in 2017 due to the community constantly requesting it to come back, but the developers still haven't done much with their game, and at this point in 2022, it's actually nearly unplayable. This is because Flash has completely stopped being supported. Most internet browsers won't even run some of the games that Gaia hosts, making it look like a complete dinosaur compared to other websites. Now, to be fair, these games can be played if you jump through several hoops, like installing an Adobe client and installing it in a very odd fashion. But let's be realistic here. Most people are just not going to bother to do that. The developers have claimed they are attempting to move a lot of their projects over to engines like Unity, but with how long they are taking, the community is starting to lose interest. Ultimately, will there even be anyone left to give those projects a chance once they are fully playable again? That would be the ultimate question here. Will anyone care anymore if Gaia Online's developers finally revamp their whole site and bring it to the modern age? Honestly, it doesn't look hopeful. As someone who missed the whole Gaia Online experience because I was playing RuneScape and MapleStory, it wouldn't necessarily bother me to see this website fade away into obscurity, but I know there are plenty of passionate fans out there who would. I think the point of the video stands to show that Gaia Online imploded on itself, crumbling under its own mistakes and shortcomings, and then just having a slow evolution into the modern age. Can Gaia turn things around and become the juggernaut it once was? Well, what do you think? Comment down below your memories of Gaia Online. Do you want to see it get revived, or do you think it's time for it to be laid to rest? Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you in the next video.
Why do I keep coming back to Gaia?
Hello there.
Hey.
Hi, Gaia.
Hi. I like to keep coming back to Gaia because it's like an escape from evil parents who want to take over Jupiter.
Gaia for me started in 2006 when my friend insisted I join for the laughs. I come on Gaia these days for the forums.
Gaia is the place. Gaia is the rhyme. There ain't no better way to spend my time.
Hello there. I keep coming back to Gaia because of the forums and how addictive it is.
You know that feeling you get when you think you're forgetting something? Well, that's the feeling I get when Gaia isn't the first thing that crosses my mind in the morning. It's my home away from home or within home, where I hang out with my closest friends and